Good Monday morning, everybody. Chris here with High Seas Cruising, and welcome to the Cruise News. All right, we got several stories for you today. We got a passenger overboard on Norwegian Cruise Line. We have some new benefits that you can purchase from Celebrity Cruise Lines. We have an itinerary change for Royal Caribbean, and a very old cruise ship, an old ocean liner, the SS United States. Well, she might be getting a new lease on life. So let's get into the cruise news. First up, we have a passenger overboard on the Norwegian Pearl. Now, the Norwegian Pearl was sailing from the Bahamas back to Miami on November the 3rd when a 41-year-old male went overboard. Now, the Norwegian Pearl immediately turned around, began search and rescue operations. The Coast Guard was notified, and Norwegian Cruise Lines put out the following statement. On the early morning of Friday, November the 3rd, 2023, Norwegian Pearl was notified that a 41-year-old male guest went overboard while the ship was sailing near the Bahamas on its way to Miami. The authorities have been notified, and the United States Coast Guard search and rescue operation is underway. The investigation is ongoing, and we will share updates as appropriate. Our thoughts and prayers are with his loved ones during this difficult time. Now, the Norwegian Pearl did search and rescue operations for 9 hours before calling off the search and started heading back to Miami. Now, as far as what happened, why the individual went overboard, or anything surrounding that, we don't have any information on that, and we don't have any current further updates. As soon as we hear anything, we'll let you know. And our thoughts and prayers, of course, are with the family. But this is becoming something we're hearing about more and more often. It really seems like it. This is, I believe, the 12th overboard person here in just 2023. And honestly, I'm hoping this is a trend that does not continue. So Royal Caribbean has the key. Carnival Cruise Lines has faster to the fun. Well, now Celebrity Cruise Lines, well, they're getting in that game too, because they are now introducing and testing the Celebrity Pass. Now, just like the other cruise lines, though, the Celebrity Pass, it's going to cost you a little bit of money. Right now, they are testing it at $32.99 per person per day. But since it's just, in the testing phase, and it's not fleet-wide, that, of course, is subject to change. They may raise it, they may lower it. I don't know if they'll really lower it or not, but they may raise it depending on the reaction that, people give to it. Just like the other cruise lines, you're going to have to decide, do these benefits really, provide you the value that you're going to want at $32.99 per day? So it is going to include priority embarkation at the cruise terminal, a welcome aboard lunch, a premium Wi-Fi upgrade for 2 devices per guest, and it will waive the room service fee, and priority access for tenders during a tendering port. And finally, you get reserved prime theater seating, but only on evening chic nights. So that sounds just like the formal nights, not every night. So there you go, Celebrity Pass. What do you think? Is that worth an extra $32.99 per person per day? Now, I know there's people out there that like Royal Caribbean's Key. There's people out there that love Carnival Cruise Line's faster to the fun. They think they get a lot of benefit out of it. They purchase it. They enjoy it. More power to you. I've said in other videos, I don't know. I don't know that I would purchase this. I don't know that I see the benefit in it. I definitely don't believe that some of these things are worth an extra $32.99, per person per day. But let me ask you guys, what do you think? Is this something that you would purchase on your next cruise if Celebrity keeps it? If it goes fleet-wide, is this something you would be interested in? Next, we have an itinerary change for an upcoming sailing on Royal Caribbean's Allure of the Seas. So the April 29th, 2024 sailing is going to be sailing from Port Canaveral, Florida, has 1 sea day, docks in Cozumel, Mexico, then has another sea day headed back to Port Canaveral. So Cozumel, Mexico was the only scheduled stop. That has now been changed. They're saying that there's a conflict of berthing, that there's not enough room for Allure of the Seas to be there. So instead of going to Cozumel, they have replaced that port stop with Labradee, Haiti. Now they're citing overcrowding in Cozumel, Mexico. You guys know Cozumel has multiple docks. Carnival has a dock. Royal Caribbean has a dock. There's the downtown dock where you'll see, your Norwegian ships, you'll see your MSC ships. A lot of cruise ships can be docked in Cozumel at one time. So you think there's got to be a lot of ships there for a berthing issue. Well, funny, if you look at Cozumel's schedule that day, there's actually only 2 other ships scheduled to be there. One of them is the Carnival Valor, which will be parked over at Carnival's dock, and then the Icon of the Seas. Now, it is possible that because there are 2 Oasis-class ships, that maybe the dock in Cozumel cannot handle 2 Oasis-class ships at the same time. But instead of docking there, they said they're going to move Allure over to Labadee in Haiti. And if you look at the schedule for Labadee, there is going to be 2 Oasis-class ships there that day. You're also going to have Symphony of the Seas there, now with Allure of the Seas. Now, of course, cruise lines, they say in the contract that they can change itineraries at any time. Ports can change at any time. So the cruise line has not done anything wrong by changing these ports. They haven't violated the cruise contract by making this change. But with Cozumel being the absolute only port stop on there, I do wonder, were there people that had booked that cruise specifically to go to Cozumel, and now they don't get to go there, and instead they're going to Labadee? I don't know if people will be happy about that, or if they're going to be a little bummed out about that. Now, Labadee is, a private island destination, which a lot of people enjoy as well. But with 2 Oasis-class ships there, it may still be crowded. But, this is one of those things that sometimes happens in cruising. And you guys will have to let me know, would that bother you that you got moved from Cozumel, Mexico to Labadee? Or do you think that's a good port change? And finally, the SS United States. Now, if you're not familiar with the United States was an ocean liner built here entirely in the United States, one of the largest that was ever built here in the United States back in 1950. Now, the United States did transatlantic sailings from the U.S. over to Europe, and even today still holds the speed record for the fastest Atlantic crossing. Yeah, so she still holds it even today. Now, the United States remained in service till 1970. Since then, has changed hands several times. There's been a lot of plans to, try to revitalize her, to put her back into service. None of those have ever happened, and has been sitting in Philadelphia what seems like forever. And as you can see here from the picture, she is in really, really bad shape. There's been talk of scrapping her, being sold for scrap. There's been talk she's going to get evicted from the pier there in Philadelphia. But it looks like there's at least some hope that the USS United States is going to live on. So a plan has been revealed here this month where the United States will get moved back to New York, and she's going to kind of become just like the Queen Mary is over in Long Beach. She's going to become a permanent floating structure and turn into a hotel with restaurants, event venues, green spaces, and a museum. Now, I really hope this happens. I hope they're able to save this old girl, get her up to New York, get her cleaned up, and get her turned into something that people can at least still go visit. It's going to be just like the Queen Mary. You can go stay on board. You can kind of experience the wake, ocean travel used to be, and give this old girl a new lease on life. So fingers crossed this works out for the USS United States, and hopefully we'll be hearing good things about her in the future. And that's our cruise news video for today. I hope you have enjoyed today's video. If you have, do me a favor and hit that like button. If you haven't done so yet, do me a favor and hit subscribe. It is free to do so. Helps our channel grow. Let you know anytime we put out a new video. Hope everyone out there is having a really great day, and like always, we will see you out on the high seas.